This meeting is being recorded.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Yoga. McKinney. Today I'm here with Abhinav Prabhu and Renuka Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for inviting. So we'll start with Kirtan. I'll say and Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane. Again,
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Vishatahine
Namaste Saraswati Deve
Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Vishatahine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrajanarandana Yashodanandana Vrajanarandana Yashodanandana Vrajanarandana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira
Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giridharadhari Jaya Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Giridharadhari Jaya Yashodanandana Yashodanandana
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja
Radha Madhava
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Jaya Radha Kala Sangira, Kala Sangira, Jaya Radha Kala Sangira, Kala Sangira. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patthadami, Nayana Patthadami, bhavatu me. Jagannath Swami Nayanapathanamini Nayanapathanamini bhavatu me. Sitaram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman Sitaram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman
Sitaram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman. Sitaram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman.
Pati Radhanacharam Sakitaparam Sitaram
Ragupati Radhanacharam Patitaparam Sitaram.
Sitaram Sitaram Madhyakare tu Sitaram
Sitaram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Ram Hare.
Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai
Prabhupada.
Gurudeva, 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 Jaya Gurudeva.
Jai Gurudeva, 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 Jai Gurudeva.
Nityamara Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nityamara Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
जय ओम विष्णु पाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्री श्रीमद एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णु पाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की सामवेद भक्त वृंद की Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution and Prasadam Distribution की Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan की Tagore Premanande, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hi.
Hare Krishna.
Hi Bo. How's everyone doing? It's spring
Good.
break. Today I'm here with Renuka Mataji and Abhinav Prabhu. Hi Paul. Good to see all of you.
Hari Bol.
Is everyone excited for spring break?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, nice. Okay, so today we will be reading from chapter 7. When I switch the tab, can you still see us? Like, are you still able to see us now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share our screen. Okay, so let's see. I think we stopped at 12, right? Last time. Did we stop at 12? Do you remember? We did 13. Yeah, 3 modes, right? We spoke about the 3 modes. Or we were on 13?
We were actually, yeah, we read that, but we were
Discussing about the modes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's where we all got
Okay.
off on that too. I mean, we got like a couple of weeks back
Yeah.
how Krishna is helping us in our life.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So far in chapter 7, what we have learned so far is that Krishna is now explaining to Arjun, his dearmost friend and devotee, that how can he remember Krishna all the time, right? That is the main theme of this chapter so far. And can you, Prabhu, give me some examples of what Krishna shared, how Arjuna can remember Krishna? Because the previous chapter, he had given all the different techniques that you can sit like this, close your mind, your eyes should always be half closed, sit on kusha grass. And what did Arjuna say in the end? Krishna, this is very tough. I cannot do this. Like my mind is very, very, it's harder to control the mind than to control a ship on a sailing ship on wind. So then Krishna said, okay, I'll tell you how to control the mind, right? And some of the ideas he gave was that you have to try to have these senses think about Krishna.
Yeah.
So please give us an example.
So I think what I remember is Krishna asks Arjun to whatever he does, keep Krishna at the center. You will do something?
Yeah, so Krishna says, I am the root of everything.
Root of everything.
So yeah, whatever you do, just do it for me, and I should be the center of everything. So all your actions should be directed to me.
Correct.
So,
Okay. So give me some examples. What did you do this week in trying to do? Everybody think we're all going to come to each one of you.
so I tried few new dishes.
Okay.
Sometimes I love cooking and I'm stressed out. So I mean, like it's pretty straightforward thing now. I know it's kind of a mixed lemonade with a lot of other stuff. So I offered to Krishna and it felt pretty good.
Okay.
Because it was the first time we were trying to do something like that, and it came out pretty good.
So simple and
but,
practical.
yeah.
Practical way. Okay. So let us.
And then Krishna always helps me with my work when I'm
Yeah.
stuck with my code, so I asked him to help me.
Krishna help me.
So Krishna
We
helps
also
me.
ask Krishna, whenever we leave home, we also ask Krishna to come along with us.
Nice. Yes. So nice practical examples Prabhuji and Mataji have given. Okay. So let us see. Let's ask Pranav. So Pranav, any examples of how you kept Krishna in the center this week?
So wait, so like how I kept Krishna in the center this week?
How did you keep Krishna? So the theme of this chapter is Krishna is explaining to Arjuna how are some practical ways in which you can always feel the presence of Krishna, right? Like there was a question somebody asked Srila Prabhupada that can you see God? Okay, and his reply was the question is wrong. The question should be, can somebody not see God? Because you can see Krishna everywhere around you, right? Because and everything is coming from Krishna's energy. So the question is, what were some practical ways in which you were able to remember Krishna this week?
So first, how I can keep Krishna in the center of everything I do is just you can go just like get used to the good habits like serving before eating, pray to Krishna, like offer it to Krishna, and go to the temple regularly and do seva. And another way you can also do like attend satsangs like these and put idols around Krishna around your house, and chanting the Mahamantra is one
Nice.
way to keep Krishna in the center.
And can you explain? Can you tell us who's the deity right behind you?
Oh yeah, Krishna.
That's the deity of Krishna. See, you're right, right at his lotus feet. You're sitting at his lotus feet. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Adya. Adya, please give us some examples of what you did this week.
I actually didn't remember Krishna word, but I'm
Little,
sure
you might have to repeat your answer. Can you speak a little bit louder, please?
actually didn't think about the whole week, but I did go to the Gudi
Okay.
and Shivaratri.
Okay, so tell me, maybe tomorrow, let's have a game plan. What is your game plan for tomorrow to keep Krishna in the center?
Good.
Okay, should we come back to you? You want a minute to think? Okay, all right, we'll give you a minute to think. Let's go to Nainika.
When I drink water.
When you drank water, you said?
Yeah, when I drink
Okay.
water,
And did you remember? You remember Krishna when you were drinking water?
yeah, and I also remember what was.
How did you feel when you were drinking water? Like, did you feel like, oh yeah, the taste of water is Krishna? Were you remembering like that?
I don't know how Krishna tastes, but I thought of him.
Nice. Okay. Okay, let's go to Vishal. Yes, Vishal.
Temporarily, I remember Krishna. Right now, I remember Krishna, and when I get bored, I remember Krishna.
Okay, so three ways.
When
to
I
remember.
go into the room right next to the front door, I remember Krishna, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, nice. Okay, and I'm going to ask Mummy. So, Mummy, what did you do to remember Krishna this week?
I mean, I do purposely think that I have to remember Krishna, but it's all the time in my mind, So all the time, whatever I do, I feel it's all the mercy of God, which is helping me to do things, or whatever. It's always there.
Yeah, that's very nice. That's how our consciousness should become. That Krishna just becomes part of our lives.
Yeah, it's a part of my life.
Okay. So then after that, Krishna explained that piece first. Next section, what we read from 8 to 12, Krishna then explained that whatever energies you're seeing around is actually coming from Krishna. Those are all Krishna's energies. And all the three modes, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, that is all coming from Krishna. Those are Krishna's energies. And yet, Krishna is not affected by those energies. Right? And then Bhakti Priya Mataji explained what those three energies were, what were the examples of those energies, right? So today we will continue our discussion from there. And before we end, we'll also show some practical ways in which we can offer bhoga. Like everybody is cooking, we'll show practical ways of how you can offer bhoga to Krishna. And maybe Nainika and Bhakti Priya Mataji can do that. Is that okay, Mataji? Are you ready?
I have to make something to offer Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. All right. We'll see if Mataji can make something. Maybe we can cut a fruit and we can show everyone how we can offer this. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Yeah, we can offer. Yeah. Okay. So now let us share.
I have cake I can offer.
Mataji?
I have a cake I can offer Prabhuji. Maybe that can be shown.
Okay, please do that. Yes. Please offer cake. Okay. So now we are on text 13. Okay. So now Krishna is explaining how. Okay, we'll read. Let's read. And we'll have Pranav, if you can read the Sanskrit, and you can read the translation, and then Sai Prabhu, you can read the purport.
Okay.
Yeah, Pranav is back. I want him to read.
Yes.
Okay. त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर्
एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम् Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible.
Okay, let's stop here. And can you share what you just understood? So far, Krishna has explained about the three modes. The three modes are coming from Krishna. And he has also explained that he does not get affected by these three modes. Okay?
Yeah.
So now,
so I think what I'm understanding from the translation is that those who are like kind of like, you know, like who are under kind of like that Maya kind of can't really like understand Krishna, because you have to detach like you shouldn't have like ignorance and like self gratification. So in order to actually know like Krishna and be with Krishna, it's like better to go to Krishna consciousness and be free from everything.
Yeah. So now what Krishna is explaining is that the jiva soul, so we are all jivas, right? And the jivas, we have actually come into this material world. Now the soul itself, who we are, the jiva soul, that is pure. That is Sat Chit Ananda. However, when we get covered by these three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, then, like you were saying, then we get covered by Maya. And when that happens, then we forget Krishna. We forget who we actually are, because we start thinking, oh, I'm this body, right? We start thinking that, oh, this is me, this is my house, this is my phone, right? We start to think like that. We forget who we actually are. We also forget who Krishna is, and we forget what is our relationship with Krishna. So three things we forget. What are the three things? Who we are,
What is the relationship with
Krishna, and who is Krishna. Right? So who are we? We are the Jiva soul, right? And the soul's quality is just like Krishna's. Sat, Chit, Ananda, pure. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And third, our relationship with Krishna. What do you think is our relationship with Krishna? Why has Krishna created us?
Good question.
Okay, please think and tell me. Why do you think Krishna has created us? Why? He's anyway, yeah.
So that we can complete the cycle of life and go back to him.
Krishna is the supreme enjoyer.
He is the supreme enjoyer. Will it be fun if you are all alone? No. It will be more fun when you have relationships, right? When you have a family. So Krishna is already, perfect, but still he wants to enjoy that rasa, that relationships with others. And what are the different
So we
rasas?
get fearlessness.
Yes. So the different rasas are servitude, then we have friendship, then we have parental association and martyrdom, right? So 5 of them are there. Okay. So now basically Krishna is explaining how the Jiva soul actually forgets Krishna. Why? Because they get deluded by these 3 modes. They get covered. And he also says he is actually above the modes and inexhaustible. He is not covered. Right? So that is the point. So let's read the purport. Let's see what Srila Prabhupada says. Yes, sir.
The whole world is enchanted by the 3 modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these 3 modes cannot understand that transcendental to this material nature is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Every living entity under the influence of material nature has a particular type of body and a particular type of psychological and biological activities accordingly. There are 4 classes of men functioning in the 3 material modes of nature. Those who are purely in the mode of goodness are called Brahmanas. Those who are purely in the mode of passion are called Kshatriyas. Those who are in the modes of both passion and ignorance are called Vaishyas. Those who are completely in ignorance called Shudras. And those who are less than that are animals or animal life. However, these designations are not permanent. I may be either a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or whatever. In any case, the life is temporary. But although life is temporary and we do not know what we are going to be in the next life, by the spell of this illusory energy, we consider ourselves in terms of this bodily conception of life. And we thus think that we are American, Indian, Russian, or Brahmana, Hindu, Muslim, etc. And if we become entangled with the modes of material nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is behind all these modes. So Lord Krishna says that living entities deluded by these 3 modes of nature do not understand that behind the material background is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many different kinds of living entities, human beings, demigods, animals, etc. And each and every one of them is under the influence of material nature. And all of them have forgotten the transcendental personality of Godhead. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, and even those who are in the modes of goodness, cannot go beyond the personal Brahman conception of the absolute truth. They are bewildered by before the Supreme Lord in his personal feature, which possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame, and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness cannot understand, what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance? Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these 3 modes of material nature, and those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Please share something. Sai Prabhu, please share some reflection what you read.
Yeah, sure. So basically, the last class when we in the last Friday, Mataji mentioned that there is a transcendental goodness beyond the goodness. You know, we always think about the goodness is also goodness is the ultimate thing, but you know that goodness is not the ultimate thing. The transcendental goodness where you always be in the Krishna conscious, that is the ultimate thing, because other three things are related to the material nature, but these are all the spiritual consciousness. That transcendental goodness is ultimate. That's what I understood.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. And another point which Srila Prabhupada here is explaining is that we start to think in these temporary manners that, oh, I am an Indian, I'm an American, I'm Russian, I'm Ukrainian, right? We start to think like all these different designations. It's called upadhis. We got all these different upadhis. And then we start thinking that, oh, like this is what our conception of life is. However, this is all temporary. As soon as we leave this body, all these upadhis are going to go. All these titles, what we have in our life, all these are going to go. So, this is what then Srila Prabhupada is explaining, that somebody who is in the mode of passion and ignorance, they cannot go beyond the conception of the Brahman conception of life. But somebody who's in mode of goodness, also it is difficult for them. So how can we actually go above that? Krishna consciousness is actually transcendental to all these three modes. And only somebody who's fully established in Krishna consciousness, that person can actually be liberated. Okay. So now we will try to understand how can we actually be in Krishna consciousness all the time. Okay, any questions before we move forward? Okay. All right. So, Martin, you have a question? You're okay?
Actually, I wanted to ask, what is actually mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance?
So, mode of goodness is somebody who is always, so we have 11 senses. 5 working senses, which are eyes, nose, ears, touch, and taste. And then we have 5 which are subtle senses, and 1 is the mind or intelligence. Right? So false ego, mind, and then we have intelligence. Now, when all of these are in the mode of goodness, then you always are trying to follow the rules and regulations. You know what is good versus bad, right? So you're in mode of goodness. You're waking up early in the morning. You are, going for, you're doing your spiritual activities, right? But somebody who's in mode of passion, like here, Srila Prabhupada gave the example of the Kshatriyas. They are in mode of passion because, they want to go and fight, right? Or they want to go for war, right? And mode of ignorance is somebody like, let us say if somebody wants to have some prasada. So same thing, you can have 3 different categories. Somebody who's in mode of passion will like to eat meat. Somebody who's in mode of, I said mode of ignorance, right? Or did I say mode of passion? No, sorry.
Ignorance.
Somebody who's in mode of ignorance will like to eat meat, right? Somebody who's in mode of passion would like to have like spicy food, like all like that. Somebody who's in mode of goodness, they are okay with fruits, they're okay with khichdi, like dal, roti, chawal, like light. So you see the
Always
difference.
thinking good also. Always thinking
Yeah.
good, good deeds and good thoughts in the mind.
Right.
I think that is what is Brahmana.
Yes.
Always thinking.
However, mode of transcendental goodness. Even if somebody who is in mode of goodness, that also will not allow us to go back home, back to body. That is just a point in which we can actually come to Shuddha Sattva, which is transcendental goodness. However, we want to be in mode of goodness because that is like a springboard for us to be able to go to Shuddha Sattva, transcendental goodness. And how do we do that? That is like how we are always in Krishna consciousness. That we will now understand.
Prabhuji, can you take Krishna's name anywhere?
Yes.
Anytime.
Anywhere, anytime. There are no rules and regulations. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, God Nitai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he said that you can actually take Krishna's name anywhere, anytime. There are no hard and fast rules to take Krishna's name in this yuga.
Okay.
So this yuga, Kali Yuga, is actually the most degraded yuga. It is the age of hypocrisy and quarrel. You put 2 people in a room, there is bound to be fight. That is the age of Kali. You cannot do anything about it. However, the only good point about the age of Kali is that the way for us to progress and go into transcendental, go back and back to Godhead is by the holy name of Krishna. It's such an easy process in this Kali Yuga that just by saying the holy name of Krishna, you are able to remember those 3 things. who we are, who is Krishna, and what is our relationship with Krishna. So you can take Krishna's name anywhere. However, it doesn't count towards your japa.
Okay.
That you should remember, yeah. The japa practice should be like you are taking time to think about Krishna and you're giving Krishna that time. So, like when you're cooking, if you're taking Krishna's name, it is good and you should do that. However, it should not count towards my round.
Okay.
Yeah, then that is not right. Okay, so let's go to 14 and we'll have Pranav, if you can read the Sanskrit, and Mummy, you can read the translation and purport.
Okay. Daivi hirsha gunamayi
Devi
Guణamayi
mama maya duratyaya
Mama
Maya Duratyayam
mame vaye prapadyante
Mami
maya me tam taranti te
Maya Translation. Shall I read?
Yes, please.
This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it.
Yeah, so here Krishna is explaining that these modes, these three modes, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, which is actually covering each jiva soul, this is actually the divine energy of mind. It's coming from Krishna. And then he also says that it is very difficult to overcome on our own. We cannot overcome these three modes. This we should understand. Only somebody who has surrendered to Krishna, only that person can actually cross beyond it. Full surrender. Only when we have completely surrendered to Krishna, we are not the doer. We start thinking we are the doer. We are doing this. Everything is belonging to me. Whomever I see around me, they should serve me because I am the best. That is our problem. However, when we have that mentality, we will never be able to overcome these three modes of material nature. So Krishna is explaining that only somebody who has surrendered to Krishna, that person can easily cross beyond it. And crossing beyond it is crossing the material universe into Vaikuntha and Goloka Vrindavan. Right? So you're crossing beyond the material realm and going into the spiritual realm.
Is it possible to cross this in a one life?
Yes, in this very lifetime, if you take this process seriously, because we are following in the footsteps of our acharyas, through their mercy, in this very lifetime, you can go back home, back to God. So there was a question asked once to Srila Prabhupada that how long does it take for somebody to come to the platform of realizing who he is, who Krishna is, what is my relationship? Srila Prabhupada said, within a moment. How? If you surrender to Krishna.
But that is not easy.
It is possible. It is possible. Krishna, if you are sincere and you have the right desires, Krishna will ensure that he will give you all the environment to make sure that you surrender to him. How? Take the example of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was a 5-year-old boy. He wanted to his only desire was, I want to sit on my father's lap. Right? That was his desire. But his father had a stepson too. And he was actually in love with the stepmother. Right? And he did not allow Dhruva Maharaj to sit on his lap. Dhruva Maharaj became so angry, he went to his mother and he said that, my father is not letting me sit on his lap. His mother said, that your prayashchit for you to be able to understand is to go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How do I go to Supreme Personality of Godhead? She said you have to go to the forest and do tapasya. Now, as he was going to do tapasya to the forest, Narad Muni, the divine saint, who is always a good well-wisher of the Vaishnavas, he explained to him that, what your real purpose of life is. That 5-year-old boy, he stood, you have to read, in Canto 4 of Srimad Bhagavatam, how he actually did tapasya. He stood on one leg for months together. He did not eat, he did not drink water. And then, when Krishna came, his desire of actually taking the kingdom, his desire was, I am going to take the whole kingdom. That was his desire. But as soon as he saw Krishna, he said, Krishna, here I was looking for broken pieces of glass, but you are, I lost the diamond. Instead of the diamond, I'm looking for lost pieces of glass. So within a moment, his consciousness changed, right? And there's another example of Maharaj Katwanga. Maharaj Katwanga, he was actually a very nice king. He was doing a lot of service. And then somehow he asked that, how much time do I have left to live? And then he was told, you have only a moment to live. Within a moment, he left everything in his mind, completely detached. Within a moment, and he was able to go back home, back to God. Yes, in that very moment, he just left everything. Pura, full surrender to Krishna. Look at Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev also at time of death, he was how much tapasya Bhishma Dev did. But when he was about to leave his body, complete surrender to Krishna. How do we come to that point? We have to practice. Only by practice and renunciation will we be able to come to that. So what we are doing is called sadhana bhakti. Right now we're doing sadhana bhakti. We're following the rules and regulations, and we're following in the footsteps of Acharya, so we are able to get that taste. And one day we will get that. So yes, the answer is within this moment we will be able to go back home, back to Godhead. Within this lifetime. Yes. Is there a question? Yes, Adya.
What is the difference between goodness and goodness?
What is your question again?
What is the difference between transcendental goodness and normal goodness?
Okay. What is the difference between goodness and transcendental goodness? Okay. Let's ask Bhakti Priya Mataji. She put her thumb up.
No, I was saying that's what she said. I was agreeing with her question.
Yes. And now Mataji will give us the answer.
Okay, Roshi, I'll try.
Yes.
Adya, good question, Nana. Normal goodness means we all know, right? If you do some nice thing to your friend, or if you take care of your sister, it's a goodness, right? It's a good thing, right? If you help your mom, that means you are in the mode of goodness. Pure goodness means when you are helping your mom, you're expecting something from her, like you want her to be happy, and you want her to appreciate you what you did, right? But pure goodness is you do something you don't expect anything back. So it is selfless service to God, pure goodness. So it can be selfless to anybody, but pure goodness means there is no expectation, there is no attachment to the result. This is my understanding. There could be many more definitions and descriptions, elaborations, but just in a simple way, this is my understanding.
Yeah, very nice.
Nice, very nice answer. Okay, so let's continue our reading. Okay, perfect. Yes, Mama.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine. Although the living entities are part of his energies and are therefore divine due to contact with material energy, their original superior power is covered.
Yeah, well, let us stop here. So this is very important point. We were actually, uh, we are actually the original, we are actually pure. The Jiva soul is actually pure. However, when we actually get into contact with the material energy, which is the three modes, then we get covered. And the main process right now is we want to remove this covering. So, so different people have different types of covering. And the example given is sometimes you have dust on a mirror, right? That is one type of covering. Second covering is Bhakti Priya Mataji, what was the second covering? I know there's third covering is the womb, like the child in the womb. What was the second covering?
I don't remember the context, Prabhuji.
Okay, so there are three coverings. Srila Prabhupada gives example of three different coverings. So everybody has different types of covering based off what our desires were. So when you take a covering of dust on the mirror, very easy to clean the dust, right? Very easy to clean. But when a baby is in the womb of a mother, really covered, right? So that's deep covering. So different entities have different types of covering. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to share the screen again. Okay, yes, Mama. So being dust.
Being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence. As previously stated, both the material and spiritual natures, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. You want to elaborate or shall I read?
No, this is okay. Yeah.
The living entities belong to the eternal superior nature, to the eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to contamination by the inferior nature matter, their illusion is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nitya Baddha, or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. Consequently, his release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy, because material energy is ultimately conducted by the supreme will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material nature is defined herein as divine nature due to its divine connection and movement by the divine will. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. The Vedas confirm this as follows. I think Sanskrit Pranav has to read.
I can quickly read.
Okay.
Mayam tu prakritim vidyan mayinam tu maheshwaram.
So although Maya illusion is false or temporary, the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the personality of Godhead, who is Maheshwara, the supreme controller.
Okay, so far what Srila Prabhupada is explaining is, what we discussed, that the Jiva soul is actually covered by these three modes. Srila Prabhupada also explains that these three modes are actually coming from the energies of Krishna. That's why they are divine energies. However, because it is still divine, they are inferior. They are inferior energies to Krishna. That much we have understood. Okay. Now Krishna will, now Srila Prabhupada will give an example. Okay. Another meaning
of guna is roop. It is to be understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the ropes of illusion. A man bound by the hands and feet cannot free himself. He must be helped by a person who is unbound, because the bound cannot help the bound. Yeah. The rescuer must be liberated. Therefore, only Lord Krishna or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, can release the conditioned soul. Without
This is a
such, very good.
very important point here. Like that's the reason why here Krishna says that it is very difficult to overcome these three modes of material nature by ourselves. Right? Now, who can actually help us? Because we are tied with these ropes of illusion. Only somebody
Who is
who is a
liberated?
representative of Krishna or Krishna himself. So, in the example of Dhruv Maharaj, who helped Dhruv Maharaj? Krishna, but before that, Narad Muni, who was the representative of Krishna, right? So that's why, so now Srila Prabhupada is that's why explaining the importance of a spiritual master.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Mami.
Without such superior help, one cannot be freed from the bondage of material nature. Devotional service or Krishna consciousness can help one gain such release. Krishna, being the Lord of the illusionary energy, can order this insurmountable energy to release the conditioned soul. He orders this release out of his causeless mercy on the surrendered soul and out of his paternal affection for the living entity who is originally a beloved son of the Lord. Therefore, surrender onto the lotus feet of the Lord is the only means to get free from the clutches of the stringent material nature. The words Mam Eva are also significant. Mam means onto Krishna only and not Brahma or Shiva. Although Brahma and Shiva are greatly elevated and are almost on the level of Vishnu, it is not possible for such incarnations of Rajaguna and Tamoguna to release the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. In other words, both Brahma and Shiva are also under the influence of Maya. Only Vishnu is the master of Maya. Therefore, he alone can give release to the conditioned soul. The Vedas confirm this in the phrase Tam eva viditva, or freedom is possible only by understanding Krishna. Even Lord Shiva affirms that liberation can be achieved only by the mercy of Vishnu. Lord Shiva says, Mukti Pradata Sarvesham. Vishnu eva na samsaya. There is no doubt that Vishnu is the deliverer of liberation for everyone.
Yeah. So, Srila Prabhupada is now giving examples of why we should surrender to Krishna. And only by the surrender to Krishna can we actually be able to cross this material world. Okay, we have a question from Vishal. Yes, Vishal.
I have a question.
You forgot your question, you said? Okay, no problem. It'll come back. Okay, so now we will have offering. So Bhakti Priya Mataji and Nanika are going to show us how after we have prepared some bhoga. So there is a difference between bhoga and prasada. Bhoga is when we are cooking with the intention to offer to Krishna. So while we are preparing food or bhoga, we are thinking about Krishna. And then when we are about to offer, we are offering the bhoga to Krishna. And Mataji will show us how is the right way and process to do that. And after Krishna has accepted the bhoga, then it becomes prasadam. So prasadam is actually the remnants of Krishna. So that is what we'll be doing. And what I'll do is we can show. I'll try to get the bhoga prayers. Okay. Any questions so far? Hare Krishna, Vasudha Mataji. You have a question?
Her
You're
audio is
muted.
not.
You're muted, Mataji.
Clear now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah. Yeah. As we always say, like, we have to, we should not be passionate or we should not be ignorant. This thing. When it comes to Kshatriya or like whoever, like Vaishya, that, like with passionate. Even like whoever is ruling the country, or they should be passionate in defeating other countries. Not defeating in the sense to protect their country. In sometimes in olden ages they have to fight, right? If the
Yes.
person in that position thinks, okay, the other person is also our, he's a Krishna, so he never thinks like, to think, okay, yeah, if he surrenders himself, like, I will take care of the Krishna will take care of the no, the other person's mind and wouldn't need to do anything. Would that ever possible? At that time, the passion is needed, is not needed. Protect the
Correct. Good answer. Good question, Mataji. Very good question. I was waiting for somebody to ask. So, this is what happened to Arjuna, right, at the battlefield. First of all, if Krishna did not want the battle, he could have easily avoided the battle. However, he wanted the battle of Kurukshetra. Why? Because of dharma. He wanted to show to everyone that dharma is very, very important. Now, when Arjuna was on the battlefield, he was a Kshatriya, right? He was on the battlefield and he saw everybody and he said, I don't want to fight. What is the use of for me to fighting? He gave 5 reasons. One reason was, what is the use of fighting Krishna? All my relatives are going to die. Whom am I going to enjoy this kingdom after I get this kingdom? Valid, it's a valid argument, right? However, this whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has explained to him why is it important to do your duty. And to do your duty, you need to have passion. So, however, when he did his duty, what now Krishna is going to explain is you're still doing your duty, which is as a Kshatriya. However, you are not fighting for your self desires. You're doing it because it is your duty. So as a student, all these kids as their students, it doesn't mean that you should leave studies. No, you should have that passion to study really well, right? But at the same time, you have to remember that you're doing it because it is your duty for Krishna's pleasure. That is the difference. That is called Krishna consciousness. We're still doing our same duty. Arjuna still had to do his duty as a warrior, but the only thing which changed was the consciousness in which he was doing his duty. Earlier, he did not want to fight because he was in the lower modes. But after Bhagavad Gita, he came to the higher modes. Okay. Does she have a question, Mataji?
no, she wants to see her. That's why she always asks why
Oh,
I'm not.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
I hope that helps, Mataji.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, every time we think like, okay, let's not get into this, but that moment we say like Smashana Vairagya or Prasuti Vairagya, there is a saying they say. And when somebody passes away, that moment we say like, yeah, we are going to be like that. So why should we why should we try? At the same time, when a mother gives birth to a kid, he will also think the same. But at that moment, finishes, and the next moment you will be like any other who will be out. Yeah, if you surrender and that is very this uh, uh, age, but it's not age in the sense like present situation. But yeah, as you said, like if you keep on, guys are doing or Mataji is doing like that. If you completely dedicate, it's possible. But that dedication need a complete support from everyone, right? Not
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, Mataji. It is very difficult. Like it is very
Very
difficult for
difficult.
us to.
Environment should support, and we have to create such an environment. If we want to be in that, you have no matter that thing gives me like something. Why should I fight for this? If Krishna thinks I should be in that, he should what do you call, wear the conditions for me. That will be possible only if you complete again.
Yeah. If I understood right, what you're saying is that it's first of all very difficult for us to be always in that platform, right? We keep going between mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. It keeps happening. So, and that is true. It happens, right? However, what we should always remember is each of us are put in a unique situation which Krishna wants us to learn something from that situation. That is one thing which is very important. Everybody has a unique situation in which we are learning something. And we all will come to these different moments where we can show tolerance, we can show compassion, right? We will all come through those situations. And by practicing Krishna consciousness, we will be able to have that we will be able to have that backing that when those situations arise, we will be able to actually be in that mode of goodness. So that is a very important thing.
You have any question?
Okay, so now we'll go to Bhakti Priya Mataji, and Mataji, please share what you are doing step by step.
Okay, so we have to have a cloth, nice washed cloth, to invite the Lord and then off. So this is the place how I do it. And then you have to have the boga prepared, a cake. I didn't do the cake, it's just a plain red velvet cake. I put tulsi leaf on top. It's just a tulsi leaf, washed tulsi leaf. And then you have to have a glass of water. There's a tulsi leaf. I put tulsi leaf on this water. We have to have Achman cup to wash our hands and ghanta. First we have to wash our hands. So left hand first, then we wash right hand. Keshavaya Namaha, Narayana Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha, Govinda Namaha. Wash your right hand. You have to sprinkle some water on the border. You have to purify by saying Namaskar, Namaskar, Namaskar. So there are three symbols. Because chakra, then the fish, you have to say fish, and then the shanku. Shanku is like this. You have to hold like this and hold this thing. Okay. So we do that, and we have to first invite them to the sticks. So when we invite them, we have to say, show them the place, and then give them water to wash your hands. Right, like that. So it's like idam asanam, idam achamaniyam, like that. One drop of water should be good enough. So first we'll invite Guru Maharaj, our own Guru, whoever it is. If you don't have a Guru, Srila Prabhupada will be your Guru. So you should invite Srila Prabhupada. So I'll invite Srila Swami Maharaj because he's my Guru Maharaj. Then I'll invite Srila Prabhupada. Idam asamniyam, idam paniyam. Idam asanam, idam achamniyam. Then I'll invite Nityananda, Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We have to ring the bell while doing it. So that means we just invited 4 people, right? Then I'll invite Radha Madhava, Radha Shyamsundara, Radha Damadara, Radha Vrindavan Chandra, and Radha Kalachandji. All 5 pairs of Radha Krishna. So
very nice, Mataji.
Then we'll invite Lakshmi Narasimha Swami, Lakshmi Haigriva, and Salagramji. Because in our temple we have Lakshmi Haigriva and Salagramji, so I'm used to Lakshmi Narasimha Swami we have to do. So last I will do all 3. So we just invited them, gave them water to wash their hands. Right now we have some mantras we have to chant. So first will be Guru Maharaj mantra. So it will be Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Srimate Rompal Swami Namane. I have to say this mantra 3 times. Namo Shivaya Krishna Srimate Rompal Swami Namane. Namo Shivaya Krishna Srimate Rompal Swami Namane. Namo Shivaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Srimate Swami Namane. Namo Shivaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Srimate Swami Namane. Namo Shivaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Srimate Swami Namane. So I just invited Sri Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Now I will invite Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with one mantra. So Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Gaur Krishna Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Gaur Krishna Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Gaur Krishna Namaha. Now we have to invite Krishna. So Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahman Taita Jagatisaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahman Taita Jagatisaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahman Taita Jagatisaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So now we will say Idam Naivedyam, Idam Paniyam. Now we will ask our Guru Maharaj to offer it to his Guru Maharaj, to the Parampara, and all the way to Krishna. So it's like we are not offering. We are giving it to Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj is offering to Krishna. Bhoga. So once they accept Bhoga, please give us your remnants. We are asking them. So and then we will just, we just did that, right? So we'll just, we should not be showing it everybody. So we cover it. Because, you know, they are having lunch, dinner, we should not be watching. So after
now
2 minutes,
they're having prasadam. Now they're having the bhoga. Right? That's
Bhoga.
how we cover it. Yeah.
Once we finish the Bhoga, I mean, if you are Brahman initiated, we have to sit down and do Gayatri mantra. If you are not Brahman initiated, you can just do 1 round chanting or something. So after like 15 minutes, we can come and open the doors, and we have to first ring a bell and remove this, ring a bell, and then now we have to give them water to wash their hands. And then first we have to send, because we invited everybody, right? We have to send them back also. We have to tell them to go back to their seats. So first like we came from bottom to up, right? While inviting, we are inviting from bottom to up. While going, the biggest person will go first. So first it's Radha Madhava will go, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Mahaprabhu, and then Srila Prabhupada, then Guru Maharaj. So it's top to bottom, they'll go back to their, you know, altars. And then we'll take the prasadam and go mix in our normal, you know, the big prasadam. So then it will be, we can honor, we have to first wash the plates before we can honor the prasadam. We are not supposed to eat anything, accept any prasadam, unless we wash the plates that we offer to Krishna. So that is the rule. So that's it.
So thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. Mataji, can you also share that, you know, like all the devotees on the call, they'll be just starting. So how they can do an easy way to offer?
I
just starting, yeah.
Actually, until I got initiated, I did not know the process, Prabhuji. So I got to know the process when I started working in the, serving in the temple. That's when they taught me how to. But simple way to offer is, you know, take a clean plate that you don't use for yourself. Should be a separate, like, you know, we are offering to the highest authority, right? So it should be like, let's say Prime Minister come to your house, what plate do you use? We shouldn't be giving our plates, right? It should be something special, right? So it should be something special. So keep something separate that we don't use every day. 1 glass, some couple of cups. So I'll show you what I do. I have some, for my marriage, I got a lot of diyas. So what I did was I returned them and got all the cups, like, can you see? Small cups, spoon, like separate for only bhoga offering. So like for example, I put a thali, dal, chawal, curries, snacks, sweet, milk, anything. So I mean the festival, if you don't have anything, right? I sometimes only offer water with tulsi.
Yeah.
That's the least you can do. Minimum water, at least water we have to offer.
Main intention is
we have better
like,
food, you know.
yeah.
Fruits, then milk. We can do milk. Sweets, homemade sweets. It should not be store bought. Better if you do homemade sweets. Then every day, whatever we eat, no onion, no garlic, anything we eat, you can first offer it to Krishna. Just like how you put a plate for yourself, you just put the thali and then put tulsi on top before offering the fresh tulsi. It has to be washed tulsi. But don't pluck tulsi before after 12 o'clock in the day. You pluck tulsi before 12 o'clock. You don't touch tulsi after 12. So for Ekadasi day and Dwadasi day, I don't touch tulsi also, because on Ekadasi she is fasting also. And Dwadasi, it's day after fasting, she'll be very weak, right? Which we should not touch on Dwadasi day. So I take ahead of time, one day before, I take tulsi leaves and keep them in a Ziploc bag or something. And then use that tulsi next day to offer on the bhoga plate.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for taking the time and showing us.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the opportunity. I don't know if I did correct or not. I just whatever is there.
It was good. It was wonderful. And the main thing is for devotees on the call to remember that the intention matters. Like if you are offering with love to Krishna, that is the main thing which Krishna is saying. Don't do it like mechanical offering. Do with love. That Krishna, even if you don't know all the mantras, just with love you're offering Krishna. That Krishna, we have made something for you. Kindly accept it because this is our love, and you can say the Hare Krishna mantra 3 times. Krishna will definitely accept.
Yeah. So in our heart, we can please accept this Krishna. What we say is through Guru, we should go to Krishna. We don't directly go to Krishna, but then please Guru Maharaj, please offer it to Krishna. Or please Prabhupada, please offer it to Krishna and give us your reply. So that way it will be more better for us. Instead of directly going to Krishna.
Yes, good point. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing.
Bhava, I used to work on, so thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, so now we'll do Nrsimha Arti and we can all sing together. Okay, is everyone ready?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. Namaste Narasimhaya Kaladaladaine Hiranyakasi Purakshaha Shilatantanakhalaye Ito Nrsimho Parato Nrsimho Yato Yantato Nrsimha Nrsimhamadim Sharanam Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Hari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Narsingadev, 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 Jaya Narsingadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, बोल प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. Thank you everybody for joining. So nice to have all of you.